guys, welcome back to Talking Chelsea Blues. Welcome back to another video. We hope you're all doing well today, guys. Before we get into this video, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell icon on to be notified of when we upload. Now, guys, new green screen, new news banner, new everything. This is a new season, a new start. Guys, we need to make a couple of apologies as well. We've not been active with the videos in the last 6 weeks. It's been tough, family issues, all the jargon, you know, stuff like that. I've been away.
Holidays,
decorating. It's been crazy, but we're back. So thank you for staying patient with us, guys. So yeah, we do apologise for that. But we're back, and it means more videos. We're back together, working together in the office, making sure we get as much content out for you guys as possible. Guys, I hope you do like the green screen as well, and I hope you like the news banner. But let's get into this video, Dad. A lot of things have happened today. News is coming out. News is like always floating about recently. But we finally got it. We finally got today the big interview we were waiting for. Enzo Maresca. We had this merry-go-round of managers, and we had De Zerbi that was discussed. Xavi was discussed. You know, all these different managers have been discussed to be part of Chelsea Football Club, and now the final decision has been made. Enzo Maresca is the new Chelsea manager, and today he gave an interview. We'll get into a few details of what he said in the interview in a second. But Dad, just summarise, like, Enzo Maresca as the new Chelsea manager, he's only really managed Leicester, and that's pretty much it. Is it a risk?
Well, you know, with most managers we've had, it's been a risk. You know, it's one of those situations where you've just got to let it, you know, unfold itself and, you know, see what becomes.
Yeah.
But I do think, you know, the man has done a very good job at Leicester. As we know, Leicester is being promoted back up to the league. And, yeah, I think, you know, he could do a good job. Yeah, he's young, he's vibrant, you know, and like I say, you know, everything is a risk, yeah? You're never going to get this perfect managerial material, yeah? You know, even with the top managers, we've seen things go wrong. So, you know, we've got to put our faith in him, yeah? Like I say, he's, you know, relatively young manager. You know, he's coming in, he hasn't got, you know, this huge resume that previous managers have had. But I think, you know, if he sort of like links well with the guys, you know, has a great rapport, you know, build the club's ethos, you know, sort of work them hard in their training, as the right tactics for, you know, play days and everything else, then, you know, it could all go to the advantage. But, you know, like I say, everything is a risk, and, you know, we have to give it a chance. You know, we done remarkably well last season, you know.
Towards the back end, anyway.
So I was just coming towards the end. We did, you know, very well, and, you know, we pulled off some, you know, last minute wins as well. Thanks, you know, to Cole Palmer. You know, I think he was the best
player in the league. I have to be honest.
Yes.
Right. Palmer should have got the Hall Player of the Year award for the Premier League.
Yes.
He only got the Young Player of the. I don't know whether he got Young Player of the Year or actually Player of the Year. I'm not sure of that one.
Yeah.
But he deserved every award he got. But let's talk a bit more about Enzo Maresca and what we know. The style of play he likes to play is very fluid, very fast, possession-based, movement, constant switching of positions, being responsive in situations where we don't usually respond. It's a very Pep style. He's worked under Pep Guardiola in the Man City team. He was the assistant manager. I think he was in the Champions League, the Champions League winning year, that treble winning year.
That's advantageous working under Pep Guardiola.
Well, if you work under Pep Guardiola, you've got a good foundation to come off.
Well,
you understand football. You understand the football philosophy he wants to play, but also you can add tweaks to your game. You can use his style and say, okay, well, I want to tweak this, and I want to tweak this, and I want to move this around a little bit. It's interesting to see how he's going to get on. We'll get into some interview details in a second. But in all, he's young, he's vibrant, he's got an energy about him, he's got an aura, and he speaks volumes. And I'm excited to see how he gets on. Let's hope he does well, because let's just be realistic. The owners are not going to give him much to work with. The owners are not going to be, he buys 500 million. Go and buy who you need. It's just, at the moment, it just seems we're buying young talent, and that's not good enough. We need to buy players who are experienced and have this knowledge of top tier football. But let's get into some interview details in a minute.
Thing, that it springs to mind is that, okay, we talk about, players who are experienced, some players who are experienced, are basically sort of like, 75% the way through their career. And that can be a bit of a risk sometimes, because we have taken players, I'm not going to mention any names, and, they haven't quite cut the mustard yet. They're sort of fading out, yes? So by taking on young players, we sort of like nurture them, and through the seasons you start to see them evolve, and the greatness come out of them, so this is another thing we have to be aware of. You might say, it was the same with, I'm going to talk here, Raheem Sterling,
that hasn't worked.
Great player, and he has, scored goals, he has, saved the day for us, but when you do take on older players, and yes, okay, they've got bags of experience, but it's still a risk, like I say, everything is a risk. Basically, we need young blood, to sort of like come up through the rank and file and everything else. So, we must be aware of that. We've signed new young players, within the last few weeks, and, let's just see how these get on. Work with also what we got, I know Conor Gallagher, there's talk of him going to Athletico Madrid. Whether that will happen or not, it's all
hearsay at the moment.
Hearsay based on money, so, sort of let's sort of, I put that by the by at the moment. But, I'm looking forward to a good season. We finished in the top 6.
No, we didn't get Europa League. We got Conference League.
That's
the only thing that bugged me. Man United won the FA Cup, which meant they got Europa League. But that's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But let's get into what Enzo Maresca did say in his interview today, and we'll give you some thoughts. So here he is, looking sharp in the suit. The first interview, Enzo Maresca. After a busy first week as Chelsea head coach, Enzo Maresca sat down to discuss taking on his role, his ambitions for the season ahead, getting down to work with the players and building a relationship with the supporters. He was asked, how does it feel to have joined Chelsea? He says he's very happy and excited. It'll be a fantastic journey, and I'm excited to get started with the players as soon as possible. He said it's been quite a busy first week. It's always the same though. You're trying to get to know all the people at the training ground and some of the players who are already in, but the feeling is fantastic. He talks about the players and how he's excited to work with, a very good squad full of talent, and that's really good to see. He enjoyed some great success with Leicester last year. There he is again in the Chelsea dressing room, in the suit, looking sharp. And he's talked about, there's one thing he said. the question was asked, explain the importance of building a strong connection between the team and the Chelsea supporters. He says, in this moment, when you join a club, you try to analyse what the club and team needs to improve and do the right things. For me, it's clear we need to create as soon as possible the right mentality and a culture that the fans can be proud of. This is very important. We're going to try to be an aggressive team on the ball and off the ball. We need to create this connection between the fans and the club, especially at home. So looking at that, he's got an aura. He wants to get to work. He wants to focus on the players, on the club, getting the players into the best shape possible, ready for the new season. And he talked about the connection with the Chelsea fans. How important is that for a manager to get the connection with the players and the Chelsea fans and the manager all in the one good harmony?
Yeah, well, basically, this is a very important factor, because without the fans, you haven't got a club. Yeah, so your fans are your bread and butter. Now, I think in order to sort of like enlighten the fans, get the fans more engaged, he has to first of all, sort of produce this team, where we're not, lacking lackluster performances, conceding goals. You can always tell, and when I've watched the game, whether, it's been at the stadium or, we've, done a watch along, I always know when there's a chance of them winning, and it's, it's very quick off the mark. Yeah, I'll put players in position. They know where they're supposed to be. There's a very small error, So, yeah, he's got to work on all these things, and sort of, bring them together, so that we're giving the fans value for money, like he says, something, that the fans can be proud of. We need that impetus. We need that fight, that fire in our bellies to get out there. Okay, out of 38 games in a season, you're not going to win every one unless, sort of, something rather special, or, it was by luck. We're going to lose an odd game. We're going to draw an odd game. That, we can sort of understand. But when we are losing, 3-4 games in a row, we've done more than that, where we've lost more than half a dozen. And basically, there's something wrong there between, the manager, the players,
the fans as well. Because there's no harmony.
Yeah,
if there's no harmony, the fans are not going to get behind the players.
Yeah.
If the fans don't get behind the players, then there's no atmosphere. And if there's no atmosphere, then there's nothing to drive the players on.
I see
the
that.
The players thrive on atmosphere, passion, aggression, dynamism. That's what the players thrive on.
Absolutely.
And to have the fans backing you, it's like having a 12th man. It's like having a 12th man on the pitch helping you. Now, if Enzo Maresca can get the harmony between fans, manager, player, great. But then, the only thing that's got to work as well is the board. They've got to start working in harmony with the fans too. Because it's not just down to player, manager and fans. This is down to the board as well. Because so many mistakes have been made. Graham Potter, the sacking of Tuchel before Graham Potter, the hiring of Graham Potter, then sacking Graham Potter, then bringing in Frank Lampard to appease the fans. Taking out Frank Lampard at the end of the season, bringing in Pochettino. Taking Pochettino out at the end of the season after a perfectly good run. That's a joke. And then bringing Enzo Maresca in. We've had like 4 or 5 managers now in the space of 3 years. And it takes the mickey for me. But I'm hoping now Enzo Maresca is going to be the final manager for a good 2-3 years.
See, football isn't football like it used to be many years ago. One of the major problems is it's such a high business, and a great, or should I say, an obscene amount of money being overturned. There are more chiefs than Indians. You've got this sort of the business sector. You've got politics involved in it all. Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, the whole thing is being throttled, strangled, and I think, you know, the manager should be given more scope, yeah, and, you know, little to do with the day-to-day running of the club, yeah, okay, that's a business side, I understand that, but, you know, there's a lot of interference from the owners, yeah, board of directors and everything
They've been
else.
talking about, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the play style you should be going for. Why don't you just let the footballing people get on with it?
They're the sports people.
If you know, if the footballer, if the manager, if you're a board of director and you've only owned a football club for the last 2-3 years, and all you've known is baseball or American football or whatever, and you've come in and you said, this is how I want you to play, that's wrong. Because you've put a manager in place to do the job.
Well,
and if you're not going to let him do the job, there's no point in having him.
Well, many people behind the scenes, yeah, you know, who sort of like, you know, quite sort of high up in the business sector, you know, you know, they know nothing about sport. They may be not interested in football or, you know, any.
I don't think Todd Bowley and Badalek Valley and all that are interested.
Yeah, you've got nothing more than pen pushers and people.
They're money.
Yeah,
Money.
Yeah.
This is about pure profit.
And
look at the sales of Ian Matson. They're trying to get rid of Gallagher. They're trying to get rid of Chalobah. Do you know why? All pure profit from the academy. It just tells you that there's no harmony between fans and owners. And they're not buying players that are relevant to the club right now. They're buying players for the future. Great. That's fine and dandy. But when we've got an academy sitting there, the best academy in the world, and you're not using its potential, you're using it to do like a sell thing, right? Where you're just saying, oh, produce the best, sell it off. No, you produce the best and you use the best. There's an academy sitting here. You've just sacked the head of youth development as well, right? Did you know that?
Yeah.
They've just sacked the head of youth development for Chelsea Football Club and the who have run Cobham for like the last 15, 20 years. Because it's not their thing. It was the last piece of Roman Abramovich's Chelsea.
They're just commodities they can iron on fire, and it's something, you know, like
to do. It's something to do on a weekend.
A lot of these people, you know, are like, we're players and managers. You might as well put them on a freaking stock exchange. Excuse the French, but yeah, you know. It is. It's total.
It's just a joke. But anyway, on with some more footballing news. I mean, as you can see on the news banner, Gallagher to Athletico Madrid. Let's get a look at that, right? Because I've taken some interest in this.
Nothing's been agreed, though.
Nothing's been agreed, but let's have a look.
Pie in the sky, isn't it?
So it says, understand Atletico Madrid remain the most interested club in Conor Gallagher this summer. Atleti have made contact with Chelsea for Gallagher as he's one of the names in the shortlist. Not an easy deal as still expensive, but Atletico's interest is genuine. Now, your interest may be genuine, but please do me a favour, Atletico. Right? Excuse my French, but kindly fuck off. Kindly fuck off. Because Conor Gallagher has been an absolute gem for this club. Last season, he was fantastic. Yes, right? He was probably, alongside Cole Palmer and a couple of others, one of the very best performers. Okay? Now, if you want Gallagher, 100 million, you can have him. Anything less, you can forget it.
This is the thing, you know, as a player,
and again, you know, pure profit.
Yeah, all about profit. But as a player progresses and they're watching and they're scouting, you know, and you know they're thinking, oh yeah, you know, we could buy him, yeah, and you know, for a peppercorn rent, and we can put him somewhere like, you know, whether it be Atletico Madrid, whether it be Barcelona or whatever, and when you think of it, yeah, it's really,
it's not making logical sense to do it either,
logical sense,
because you're selling one of your best players.
Yeah, they're taking a player out of that club who's a key player.
So what they're saying is,
it becomes
we're going to build the club.
To us.
Well, let me just get this correct and answer this if you can. They're saying build the club by buy young players for the future. Fantastic. But they're saying get rid of the best players now.
You know,
that's like feeding me with one hand and taking it out the other. What's the point? What's the point?
One thing that strikes to my mind, you know, especially sort of like, you know, within the Premier League, you know, this transfer and sale of footballers is nothing more than monopoly. Yeah,
it is interesting though.
It's
interesting.
A board game of it, you know.
Yeah, but right, what I will say is right, it's interesting because you never know who's going to pop up on the market at any given point. You could be watching a player for several years and say, I want Chelsea to buy him. He's not come on the market for 3 or 4 years. Bang, he's on the market after you've said it 3-4 years ago. It's interesting. Wow, at the end of the day, it is what it is. These owners need to sort themselves out and they need to sort this club out. You're signing young players, fantastic, and I wish all the best for that.
The thing is with younger players as well, you must understand, okay...
They need time!
They need time. And they're less injury prone.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
So they will play, you know, more games per season than somebody who was 75%.
They lack the experience. They lack the experience. And the only way they're going to get experience is by playing. But, on the other hand, you buy players to go alongside those youngsters to help them improve, to bring them along.
Like the old
you have to do that.
Like the old saying goes, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs.
Yes, but you have to have, as I've said, you have to have, so like someone like Conor Gallagher next to, say, I don't know, Kendrick Paez, to bring him on, bring him forward and help him, you know, bring him into the club, teach him the values of Chelsea Football Club, what it should be. And you're not going to get that with two 17-year-olds playing alongside each other.
No.
It's not going to work. It's like, it's, you know, as I said, you're selling the best players now, but bringing in players for the future. You're feeding me with one hand, but taking out the other. At the end of the day, it is what it is, though.
Yeah.
This club is what it is. But Maresca did say one thing, and I don't like this word. I'm sick of this word, but he said it. He was asked a message to the fans. Trust the process. I hate that word, right? And he's not got a lot of experience, Enzo Maresca. But the board have hired him. It's not his fault if it goes wrong. Because the board have hired him.
Let's be realistic.
So I'm putting my faith in him. Go with it, Enzo Maresca. Do what you're going to do. Enjoy your time at Chelsea here. Whether it's short or long, enjoy it. Because this club is cutthroat.
Everything is a process. Yeah? Life is a process.
But I'm sick of the word process at Chelsea Football Club. We've been in this process for 3 years.
Just a word. I know
3 years.
I know.
3 years we've been in this process.
But
we were promised a trophy by the second season. Where's your trophy? Where's your trophy?
Well, I think, you know...
Your biggest trophy is sacking managers.
I think this season, you know, we've got to win a trophy.
Whether it's the Europa Conference League or the FA Cup, right? The aims for this season should be top 6 finish. Top 6 finish for sure. Europa Conference League trophy. And if not an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, at least one final. Anything lower, and these fans will come for the owners. I can guarantee you. But at the end of the day, let's just see what happens. Dad, Conor Gallagher, I don't want it to happen. Do you want it to happen?
No, I think...
Thank you.
This season's just gone. He's been absolutely amazing. There was a time, you know, a season or two back where I thought that...
Screw this.
You know, he was going to be, you know, sort of like, not a no-hooper, but, you know, just your average player, you know. But he's proved his worth last season. I was very impressed with him and, you know, his number of goals he scored. So, you know, he's building, strength on strength.
Season on season, you're going to see him get better.
Yeah, so I think, he's one of the key players that we should keep, not be foolish and get rid of him. Like I say, it's all down to money again, and, your board of directors and the fat cats who are making millions, out of football. So, I would say,
keep him.
Keep him. Don't let him go.
But guys, let us know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on Enzo Maresca joining Chelsea as the new head coach. Also, let us know what your thoughts are on Conor Gallagher. Should he stay? Should he go? Or would the owners be wrong to sell him? And let us know what you think about the academy products being brought in, but yet we're selling bigger players for pure profit. Let us know in the comment section. We'd love to hear it. But before we end this video, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when we upload. Share this channel out as much as possible, guys. It really does help us out. Socials are there on the news banner. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel is there. And guys, hope to see you tomorrow for another video. Take care and see you tomorrow.
Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.